Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Thomas Sire from On the Hot Podcast. Today, I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content will be covered today will be in the sport of baseball inside the MLB world. And now we have officially entered the month of October. So baseball fans out there watching and listening, you guys know exactly what that means. It is now time for the MLB postseason, so I will be giving my MLB predictions, MLB wildcard predictions for the first round of the MLB playoffs. So, in this segment, I'll be first sharing my American League predictions. Later on in the segment, I'll be sharing my National League predictions for the wildcard games, or the wildcard series. So, first matchup I have marked down, I have the 4th-seeded Tampa Bay Rays taking on the 5th-seeded Texas Rangers. I feel like this series could go either way, but I like the Rays. Give me the Rays in this matchup, in this series. Like I said, I do believe it could go either way, but I do feel like the Rangers would be favored in this matchup if they had their two best pitchers available, and Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom. Unfortunately, the Rangers don't have both available for right now during this postseason, and I think that's going to hurt them in the wild card playing a talented team like the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, even though they started off hot in the beginning part of the MLB season as one of the hottest teams in the league, they fell out, and that is they started to decline. That's the reason why the Baltimore Orioles won the American League East. But the Tampa Bay Rays are playing this series at home, and they were one of, if not the best team in baseball at home. They went 53-28 in the regular season. In home games, they're going to have home field advantage against the against the Texas Rangers. That's going to play a factor for them having 3 games at home against this Rangers team. Both teams are not at their best. The Rangers and the Rays are not at 100%. Like I just touched on, the bullpen of the Rangers is not healthy right now. But the starting offensive lineup for the Rays is pretty banged up as well. But I believe the Rays can still pull this out and win this series 2-1. I do believe that this series is going to go all the way to Game 3. Yandy Diaz, I do believe he's going to help the Rays offensively get past the Rangers in the first round. It's going to be a very competitive wild card matchup between these two respective teams. But I do believe that the Rays will be moving on to the divisional round. So moving on to the next matchup, we have the 3rd-seeded Minnesota Twins taking on the 6th-seeded Toronto Blue Jays. This could go either way as well. I like these matchups, but given the Minnesota Twins, I gotta go with the Twins. It's been 19 years since the Minnesota Twins have won a playoff series. 19 years in the making. The playoff gods, the baseball gods, got to be on the side of the Minnesota Twins, especially them having home field advantage and this wild card matchup. I do believe the last time that they went on a deep playoff run was 2004, where they faced the New York Yankees, and ever since then they have not won a playoff series. So it's been quite some time. They're definitely due for a playoff win, and I think they're going to get it in the wild card matchup against the Toronto Blue Jays. But I do believe that the Twins' pitching rotation is going to play a role in the wild card matchup. I do believe they have one of the best pitching rotations heading into this MLB postseason amongst a lot of teams. And that is the reason why the Twins find themselves at the 3rd seed in the American League, because they had a phenomenal pitching rotation that's got them to where they are heading into this postseason run. I like the Twins. I do believe, just like in the first matchup between the Rays and the Rangers, is going to go all the way to Game 3. I like the Twins out battling the Blue Jays. This will go to Game 3, and I have the Twins winning this series 2-1. So then moving on to the National League, we have a rivalry matchup taking place between the 4th-seeded Phillies taking on the 5th-seeded Marlins. So I am going to go with the Phillies in this matchup, in this wild card series. The Phillies offense could get them right back to where they left off last year in the postseason. They shocked the MLB world by getting all the way to the World Series last year. They took care of the Braves. They took care of the Padres. They put up a good fight against the Houston Astros in the World Series. I do believe that this offense could get going again. They can find themselves going on a deep playoff run. Now, how will they match up against a team like the Braves or the Dodgers in the later rounds? Time will tell. But this offense that they got, their offensive lineup of Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Young, Bryce Harper, as I'm thinking of football. Bryce Harper and Trey Turner are definitely going to be a great offensive nightmare for a lot of teams heading into this postseason. I do believe that their offense can pick up right where they left off last year. They could potentially go on another deep playoff run. But I like them beating the Marlins in this matchup due to the fact that the Marlins are still a very young team. Now, I give credit where credit is due. They did make the postseason, but I don't believe that this roster is ready to go on a deep playoff run. I don't believe that this roster has enough experience to hang with a team like the Phillies that know how to go on a deep playoff run in the National League. I don't believe that this Marlins team is just there yet. I still believe they're trying to figure things out. So I do believe that the Phillies will cruise to victory in this series. I do believe they're going to take care of the Marlins pretty easily and move on to the divisional round, beating the Marlins 2-0 to advance to the divisional round. And then the next matchup, I have the 3rd-seeded Milwaukee Brewers taking on the 6th-seeded Arizona Diamondbacks. And I have the Milwaukee Brewers advancing on to the divisional round. Now, I'm looking at this Brewers team, and I'm looking at what I'm potentially going to see them potentially matched up against a team like the Dodgers or Braves or Phillies if they match up against them. And they're not ready. I don't think that this Brewers team is going to go on a deep playoff run. I'm looking at this offensive lineup. It doesn't sit pretty to me. It doesn't show me that flashes of this team could be a World Series championship contender. I think they're there, but they're not there to go on a deep playoff run. But I do like them matching up against the Diamondbacks and then in the wild card, and I am picking them due to the fact that they're going to have their strong bullpen by their side, and I believe that their bullpen is going to cause problems against the Diamondbacks. And I like the pitching duo that the Diamondbacks will unfortunately have to face: Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff in the first 2 games. And I do believe that the Brewers are going to cruise to victory. I do believe that the Brewers are going to take care of business against the Diamondbacks. So they're going to win this. They're going to win this series 2-0 to head into the divisional round. So those are my American League and National League wildcard picks. If you guys love baseball, we're going to be covering the whole entire MLB playoffs from the wild card all the way to the World Series for the next 3 to 4 weeks in the month of October. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode.